Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Christopher Lott with your Sactown Sports headlines. Sacramento Kings won their 40th game of the season on Saturday, beating the Phoenix Suns 128-119. Kings are back in action tonight when they host the Milwaukee Bucks. As of right now, Bucks star Giannis Antetokounmpo is listed as questionable, but he told Mark Spears of Anscape on Saturday that he hopes to play Monday. Coverage of the game starts with game night at 5:30 and tip-off scheduled for 7 right here on Sactown Sports. On Wednesday, Sac State's women's basketball team won the Big Sky tournament, and yesterday they found out they'll be facing UCLA on Saturday. 13th-ranked Hornets will try and upset the Bruins this Saturday at Pauley Pavilion. That's it for your headlines. Now it's time for Chris and Company.
He's born in Sacramento. He's raised in Sacramento.
And now he takes over the airwaves in Sacramento.
It's Chris and Company with Sacramento's Chris Watkins
On Sactown Sports.
Welcome in to another week of Chris and Company, week 2 of the program. Excited to be joining y'all on this Monday morning. Good weekend of basketball, pro basketball, NBA was great. A lot of great matchups over the weekend. Got some good games tonight. We'll get to that later. College basketball is in full effect. March Madness is here. The tournament's starting up on Thursday. Here in Sacramento, we're going to have some tournament games. UCLA, Arizona, their way to Golden One Center later this week. That should be exciting. But the biggest game of the weekend for everyone here in Sacramento was the Sacramento Kings getting the dub over the Phoenix Suns in the Valley of the Sun, 128-119. Your Sacramento Kings are absolutely rolling right now, ladies and gentlemen. 8-1 since the All-Star break. They have 120 points in every single game since the break. 9 straight with putting up over 120 points. This offense is legitimate. We've talked about that countless times on this program already. This is the first time that the Kings have had over 40 or more wins since the 2006 season. We're now 2 wins away from finally getting over the hump of being 500 for a season. That hasn't happened since 2006 as well. On top of the playoff drought, I've talked about this before. It's not just a playoff drought that the Kings are trying to end. It's also a drought of 16 consecutive losing seasons. So that's the next milestone that this team needs to pass. But with the win on Saturday, not only did the Kings continue to rise closer and closer to that 1 seed, something else that we'll get to later on in this show, but they kind of have put themselves in a nice, comfortable gap between them and the Phoenix Suns, in my opinion, who I've been saying was the most likely to potentially overseed the Kings this season. They're now 3.5 games back of the Kings, and they play them again on Friday, March 24th. So they'll have another chance to get closer, but the Kings also will have a chance to potentially really bury Phoenix. And it was a huge win for the Kings, not only to continue what they've been doing post All-Star, but also they had to win that game because Phoenix has won their past 2 against the Kings, and if they would have won on Saturday, they would have owned the potential tiebreaker in a standing situation. So it's going to be big for the Kings to look to even that up on March 24th in Sacramento. Looking forward to that one. Back to Saturday. It was a great game. I mean, that was a phenomenal game in the exact type of way you wanted to see this team respond to adversity. Again, Phoenix gave them all they could. That was I said it on Friday. Just because Kevin Durant was out did not mean that this Phoenix team was going to be by any means an easier team to beat. They still have tons of weapons. We know how dangerous Devin Booker is. DeAndre Ayton put together a great performance. Chris Paul, it seems like those three guys have killed us all season long. And that continued on Saturday as well. They put out great performances, but the Kings, they've been so good, not just De'Aaron Fox, but the team in total has been so good in the clutch so far this season. And that continued on Saturday, and that was a big reason they won. They closed that game. Remember, they were tied at 115 with just under 4 minutes to go. And then they end the game on a 13-4 run. Their offense was incredible. They got great contributions from their bench. Trey Lyles, Malik Monk had a great first half as well. Davion Mitchell, I thought, played really well defensively. But the question going in was can this team somehow, some way slow down Devin Booker? And that's a tall task. I don't think anybody can stop him, but can you just slow him down? He has absolutely killed the Kings all season long, especially heading into Saturday. In the 2 games prior to Saturday, he was averaging 38 points per game on 62% from the field in his previous 2 matchups against the Kings. And he came out hot. He came out blazing on Saturday. He had 10 of the Suns' first 15 points. And it felt like, oh boy, here we go. Another Devin Booker 40-piece incoming. It's going to be a long night. Kings called, I think they were down 11, 6-17 early in that game. And what does Mike Brown do? Which honestly, I mean, it completely turned the game around. Takes out Keegan Murray and puts in Kessler Edwards. And, if you were on social media, I think everybody was calling it the Kessler Edwards game. And it felt like that. It felt like he took that moment. He took what he was just ready. He was ready for what was to come. And he knew that he was probably going to get a chance to play in that game. And he did not disappoint. Had 5 rebounds just in that first quarter. That's a perfect example of just the energy that he provided from the jump. He instantly shut down Devin Booker. Devin Booker didn't score the rest of the quarter after Kessler Edwards checked in. And I also mentioned Davion Mitchell. Huge credit Davion Mitchell, who also was tasked with guarding Devin Booker. He made Booker's life hell on earth. He does not want to go against Davion Mitchell and Kessler Edwards, who just gave him an incredibly tough time, surprisingly. Honestly, I knew that Kessler had the length, had the defensive potential to put up a performance like that, but what I wasn't expecting was the offense, honestly. He had a nice little transition Euro step. I don't know what percent of that was luck and what percent of that was skill. We're sounding like a Fort Minor song, but it was just great to see. I mean, it was the cherry on top. And then the cherry on top of the cherry on top was him hitting the dagger, honestly. I mean, his 3 that he hit late in that fourth quarter sealed the game. And for him to have the confidence to step in and be in that closing lineup and hit a shot like that after Frank, I mean, a lot has been made of his turnover and transition late in that game as well. It was definitely, it was a bad turnover for sure. I don't know if I necessarily blame that solely on Kessler Edwards. I didn't feel like the Kings needed to be pressing the ball. Like, they were really trying to get in transition on that play. And I didn't feel like that was necessarily the move. I didn't feel like they necessarily needed to press there. So I think it was just, I don't know. I don't necessarily blame Kessler Edwards for that, but it was a great performance from him nonetheless. The bench, I mentioned, put up huge contributions. Trey Lyles. Chimezie Metu had that steal on DeAndre Ayton late in the fourth as well cannot go unnoticed. Chimezie Metu provided energy all game long, and I think he's been excellent since the All-Star break. I've really liked what I've seen from Mezzi. Not overstepping and trying to do too much. I haven't seen Chimezie Metu take a 3 in what feels like months. I really like how Mezzi has shaped his game, especially recently. And it feels like, a lot has been made of Trey Lyles as that backup center. And, I've been pretty down on Mezzi getting those minutes. I'm actually okay with at the moment with him kind of getting his spot rotation minutes right now. I really like the way he's been playing. But man, it was good to see the Kings pull out that win, because Phoenix is a legit team, man. Again, like they should not be looked down upon because of this Kevin Durant injury. These guys are a legitimate team, and the Kings the Kings handled them. Phoenix played really well. That was not Phoenix fumbling and struggling to get into what they want to get to. I think the Phoenix Suns really gave the Kings a good shot, and the Kings took it. Again, this is another example of the Kings playing a legitimate playoff, potentially contender as well, and taking it on the chin, adjusting, and eventually pulling out the win. It's huge. It's really, really big for this team to win and specifically figure out how to win these games right now. Because that's the thing where lack of experience in the postseason will come back to bite you. And I say that in air quotes. It is, you just don't, you haven't been in those situations in hostile environments trying to figure out, okay, we're down. How do we pull this out? How do we get back to what we were doing successfully? And the Kings did that. They just continue to impress down the stretch here and pull out victories against really quality opponents. And tonight, hopefully, is no different. They play an absolute juggernaut tonight against the Milwaukee Bucks. We still don't know if Giannis is going to play. He's a game time decision. But tonight, I don't think I said a couple days ago on the program that in this little 3-game stretch of the Knicks and then the Suns and then Milwaukee, if the Kings would win just one of them, that it would feel like a success. And I'm sticking to that. It does feel like already in this 3-game stretch, obviously the Kings have gotten 2 wins. It feels like that they have won this stretch, and they've definitely gotten what they needed to out of this stretch of games. And I'm incredibly impressed. I did not think that they would be able to perform this well against such stiff competition. Exciting stuff, man. And again, it does not get easier. They play the Bucks tonight. They go on a 4-game road trip after this, come back, play the Boston Celtics, number 2 team in the East. So there's no time to feel good about yourself and to rest on your laurels. Like you still got to stay locked in. You got to stay locked in because the competition does not get any easier, and the West is still right on your heels. There's still teams that are gunning for your spot. Just how historic has Domantas Sabonis' season been? We'll talk about that next, right here on Chris and Company on Sactown Sports 1140 and SactownSports.com.
The only place you'll find De'Aaron Fox is Sactown Sports.
Spins away from the defender, in the paint, soft floater. That's a great play by De'Aaron Fox.
Hey Sacramento, it's De'Aaron Fox, and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
There's really nothing better than hitting the open road in a new Honda. And at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda, we are proud to provide our best selection to get you there. Buying from Stockton Honda couldn't be smoother. Wherever the road you travel might lead, Stockton Honda is happy to get you there.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
#1 claim based on 2022 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company's own report.
Live and local, it's Chris and Company with Chris Watkins on Sactown Sports.
I want to talk about Domantas Sabonis real quick because it does feel like somehow we're just letting Domantas Sabonis's performances just go by the wayside right now and not really talking much about just how ludicrous the numbers he's putting up is. It's absurd. I mean, you look at these numbers over his last 14 games, he's averaging 20.3 points per game, 11.9 rebounds, 7.1 assists on 62% from the field. By the way, in that 14-game stretch, the Kings are 11-3. That's absurd. 20, 12, and 7. Nobody else in this league is putting up numbers like that, except for the guy in Denver. And even then, not to the 12 rebounds. As a matter of fact, right now, Domantas Sabonis' averages are 18, 12, and 7 on the season. The only players in NBA history, this is of all time, to put up seasons of 18-plus points per game, 12-plus rebounds, 7-plus assists, while shooting 60+% from the field. Domantas Sabonis right now and Wilt Chamberlain. That's it. That's the list. 18, 12, and 7 with over 60%, Domas and Wilt. That's the kind of season that we're talking about right now. He's doing a thing that has only been done by I have been saying this for years. If there's any stat that you have and the only other person to do it is Wilt Chamberlain, it's a great stat. It just means that you're doing absolutely insane stuff. Because I don't know if anybody has ever looked at Wilt Chamberlain's basketball reference page, but his numbers are stupid across the board for everything. I'm talking like 50-point, 25 rebound seasons. And so that's the kind of dumb numbers that Domantas Sabonis is putting up right now. They showed a graphic on the broadcast on Saturday. He's now 4th all time in triple doubles for centers. He just passed Bill Russell, and I believe he's 3 away from Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Nikola Jokic is first on that list. I think Wilt Chamberlain is second. Kareem is third. Domas fourth. Just absurd. And it's again, like, and I think rightfully so. We've been talking a lot about De'Aaron Fox. We've been talking a lot about, Malik Monk. I've been talking a lot about Trey Lyles. But it doesn't feel like a lot of people are truly appreciating what Domantas Sabonis is doing. And I mean, this is legitimately every night. If you look at the end of first quarters, he's usually got 8 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists, where it's like he's already trending towards a double-double, and it's every single night. It does feel like to start the games, the Kings make a point to really run things through Domas and allow him to be a little bit more aggressive, looking for a shot to start the game. And then that kind of sets everything else up. Once they're concerned about him as a scoring threat, that's when they then pull him out and use that threat to open up everything else and get everybody else open. And he's done a great job of spreading the wealth all year long. I mean, everybody has seen his ridiculous assist numbers, but he has just been so good all season long. And it hasn't gone on. It hasn't gone unnoticed for me. Here's what head coach Mike Brown had to say about what Domas's triple doubles do for their team.
To see him get triple doubles, again, you hope we don't ever take that for granted because that stuff is hard. But that's who he is. He's a basketball player, man. He's a basketball player.
I love that. He a basketball player. And that's really what it is. Again,
He a
like
basketball player.
he a basketball player. Chris, you got to keep that cut. I do love
He a
that.
basketball player.
He a basketball player, man. You know what that got same vibes of? We talking practice, man. Practice. He a basketball player. And he really is. I mean, and what he's saying there is like a lot was made of Russell Westbrook's triple doubles and how he gets those and the stat padding of it all. It all comes in the flow of the game for Domas. It never, ever feels like he's really trying to get his assists right now. Or, oh, yeah, he really, cleared out Keegan Murray to get that rebound. Everything, every part of his game is in the flow of the offense. And that's what makes it so special to me. It never feels, I mean, we all, well, I shouldn't say we all, because I think a lot of people tuned out for the era, but in the DeMarcus Cousins times, it was you throw the ball into Boogie and no one else might see the ball for the rest of the 24-second clock. And obviously they're different style players. But again, like it's tough, especially now in this day and age, to play through a big man. It's it's become a lot more perimeter centric, a lot more guards running the show and having the ball in their hands. Not many teams run things from their big men anymore. And Domas has been able to do it seamlessly. And again, not feel like he has the ball in his hands all the time. He actually has a 20% usage rating, which is incredibly low. Incredibly low. That's like the same usage percentage that Harrison Barnes has. So he's just doing it, quick decisions, not holding the ball in his hand, and again, just everything is flowing through him so naturally. It cannot be overstated how much Domantas Sabonis does for this team, and the reason why this team is so historically ridiculous offensively. I also want to mention this, something I don't feel like a lot of people are talking about. The Sacramento Kings have a fantastic record against Western Conference. And doesn't that seem like it should be a lot more important and something that people are talking about a lot more? 27 wins the Kings have inside their own conference, second most in the West. They've beaten every single team in the West now that they've beaten Phoenix and beaten New Orleans. They've beaten all the teams in the West. They're 7-6 against the top 5 seeds right now. So they have a winning record. They're competitive, at least, against the better teams in the West. And if this really gave me confidence for the playoffs. Again, like a lot of people have been, and myself included, I think I have personally been afraid to go there and confidently feel like the Kings should feel like, or everybody around should feel like the Kings should be favored in a playoff series. They've performed really well. Like they don't play the East in the playoffs. The East is incredibly difficult this season. Kings have just over a 500 record against the East this season as well. But the fact that the Kings have been so dominant against their own conference speaks volumes to me. I think that that's incredibly important. Again, like the West are the teams that you play in this postseason. Those are the teams that you really need to measure yourself against for the time being. And there's good Western Conference teams that aren't good against their own conference. You look at Memphis, the reason why the Kings have the number 2 spot right now is because they have a better conference record. Memphis is 22-19, just above 500. Phoenix even 24-16. Clippers are under 500 against the Western Conference. The Kings are sitting at 27-14, 13 games above 500 against their own conference. Makes me feel good. I'll tell you that. Definitely makes me feel good about where the Kings are sitting right now. And it is all very much matchup dependent for sure. The Kings could get matched up against the Warriors or whoever, whatever difficult first round opponent you want to say. And all that can be thrown out. But I think the fact that they have competed all season against their conference and came out on top more times than not, way more times than not, it says something to me, for sure. It's definitely not nothing. And again, like, it's just another number that you look at this Kings team and you're like, wow, this is legit. Like, this is legit. It's not just taking care of against weaker opponents, or, their offense is legitimately historic. It's just another thing that you can add to the list of reasons why you feel confident about this team heading into the postseason. Not just going to talk basketball today, ladies and gentlemen. We had a huge trade in the NFL on Friday, and they tried to sneak it on bias, but we're going to talk about it next. The Chicago Bears traded out of the first pick in next month's NFL draft. Was it the right move? We'll talk about that and more next, right here on Chris and Company on Sactown Sports and Sactown Sports 1140.
Sactown Sports is your new home for the San Francisco 49ers.
Let's go Niners! Yeah!
Debo,
10, Debo, touchdown!
McCaffrey.
I'm just proud to be a 49er.
CMC!
Kittle.
And it is caught by George Kittle again.
They all live here. Sactown Sports, your official home for 49ers football in the 916.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Folsom Lake Kia.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Your Monday forecast will include a chance for a few showers, maybe a thunderstorm this afternoon. Everything pretty widely scattered throughout the day ahead. Temperatures today will top out in the lower to mid 60s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Treat yourself to a new car in the new year. Shop Folsom Lake Kia for your favorite Kia model. Low interest rates, low payments, even zero down deals with approved credit. Over 20 years right here in Sacramento. That's Folsom Lake Kia. 2 minutes left. 2 minutes left. Hands up. No fouls. No fouls. Yes. Great job. Timeout. Hello, Sacramento, and all you listeners, it's Doug Christie here for the Good Feet Store. Did you know that when your feet are not properly supported, your whole body can become misaligned, causing pain in your feet, knees, hips, or back? Good Feet arch supports are designed to support all four arches of the foot, placing the feet in their ideal pain-relieving position and aligning the body from the feet up. Good Feet arch supports come in a wide range of over 300 styles, flexibilities, and sizes, so customers can be precisely fit with the arch supports that meets their personal needs. It's one reason why Good Feet arch supports are only available at the Good Feet Store. Visit the Good Feet Store now for a free personalized arch support fitting and then take them for a walk. Experience for yourself the pain-relieving comfort, balance, and support of Good Feet. In Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and Vacaville. Online at goodfeet.com.
When was the last time you heard of a new car for only $298 a month? How about today at Elk Grove Kia? Your choice, 2023 Kia Forte GT or 2023 Kia Soul EX for only $298 a month. Incredible. With Elk Grove Kia's exclusive 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Why would you buy anywhere else? Worried about credit? Elk Grove Kia specializes in helping folks get the credit they deserve. No credit, little credit, bad credit, no problem. Bankruptcies, foreclosures, repos, no problem. Looking for the hard-to-find models, Tellurides, K5s, EV6s? Check us out online at elkgrovekia.com or come see us at the Elk Grove Auto Mall today.
2023 Kia Soul EX 298 plus tax, 48 month lease, $31.95 customer cash to assign residual of $15,603, 80 based on 10K per year, 20 cents per mile over payment based on tier 1, 740 plus FICO score. Kia finance approval month. Disclaimer: GK 858 2023 Kia Forte GT 298 plus tax, 36 month lease, $39.95 customer cash to assign residual of $13,140 based on 10K per year, payment at tier 1, 740 plus FICO score. Subject to Kia finance approval month. Disclaimer: GK 858 both expires 3/31/23.
Do you know what people see when they Google you? Search engines don't always get it right. And when they're wrong, it's your reputation on the line. So what do you do when you don't agree with your search results? Call Reputation Defender at 800-401-6681. Reputation Defender by Norton is one of the most trusted names in online reputation repair. We have over a decade of experience in fixing people's search results, and we can help you too. Using cutting-edge approaches, Reputation Defender pushes unflattering information down to lower pages of your search results, where few people ever look. We also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, letting you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. You owe it to yourself to take control with Reputation Defender. Visit www.reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 for free advice on your situation. 800-401-6681. That's 800-401-6681.
Tax season can be taxing in your identity. All of your personal info in one place, emailed, shared, possibly exposed to identity thieves. Tax forms can be like one-stop shops for ID thieves, which means it can be dangerously easy to steal your identity. Protection against identity theft is easier with LifeLock by Norton. LifeLock by Norton helps monitor your info, alerts you to potential identity threats. If you become a victim, a dedicated U.S.-based restoration specialist works to fix it during tax season and beyond. Nobody prevents all theft or monitors all transactions at all businesses, but you can make sure your identity theft protection starts here. Join LifeLock today, LifeLock, and save up to 25% off your first year. Call 1-800-LifeLock or go to lifelock.com, promo code HERD. That's 1-800-LifeLock or go to lifelock.com, promo code HERD, HERD, to save 25% off.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find: happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop. Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Sactown Sports
Headlines.
I'm Chris Verlade with your Sactown Sports headlines. Sacramento Kings won their 40th game of the season on Saturday, beating the Phoenix Suns 128-119. Kings are back in action tonight when they host the Milwaukee Bucks. As right now, Bucks star Giannis Antetokounmpo is listed as questionable. He told Mark Spears of Anscape on Saturday that he hopes to play Monday. Coverage of the game starts with game night at 5:30 and tip-off scheduled for 7, right here on Sactown Sports. On Wednesday, Sac State's women's basketball team won the Big Sky tournament, and yesterday they found out they'll be facing UCLA on Saturday. The 13th-ranked Hornet will try and upset the Bruins this Saturday at Pauley Pavilion. Those are your headlines, and now more with Chris and company.
Sitting at your desk? Watch Chris and Company now. YouTube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
This beat is giving me life right now. Check us out right now on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140. Tune into the live stream, hit the thumbs up. Goes a long way. Appreciate everyone's support. Everyone has been super supportive, like almost scary supportive in the comments. Love that. Love that we have like it feels like we actually have a non-toxic YouTube chat, which is very rare to find on the internet.
Oh, just wait, we're new.
Yeah, exactly. We're new. I see sometimes Dave and Jason's chat can get a little bit toxic. But yeah, right. So far, so good. I'm liking everybody in the comments. And we got to do this. We started this on Friday. Everybody in the comments right now on YouTube, and if you're just listening on the radio, go on YouTube just so you can do this. Comment where you're watching from, place, city you're watching from, and on what device. Are you watching on a TV in your garage? You watching on your laptop at work? You just got me in the background. Just curious. It was really fun to do, and trying to just get connected and see what
maybe a smart fridge.
A smart fridge, that would be crazy. If anyone is viewing me on your smart fridge right now, please send me a picture. Tweet at me at Chris M. Watkins. You can also tweet at the station at Sactown 1140. Yeah, that would be dope. That would be super dope, actually. That would be my preferred method of watching, would for sure be on the smart fridge. Mentioned on Friday, they tried to sneak this news by us in a little Friday night news dump. I guess it was more afternoon. Friday afternoon, Adam Schefter reported, actually, I think it was Ian Rappaport on the initial report. Adam Schefter had the details that the Carolina Panthers traded up to the #1 pick, traded the Chicago Bears for the #1 pick in next month's NFL draft. It's kind of crazy that this news kind of slid through on a Friday. It feels like even like 2 to 3 years ago, this would have been this would have been a Monday, talk about it for the rest of the week, clear everything out. because there's now a new number one. And again, it just kind of feels like this just kind of slid on by. But it was honestly, very rarely does the team that trades out of the first pick in the draft feel like they're the real winners. I really like what the Chicago Bears got for the first pick in the draft. They ended up moving back to 9 from 1 to 9 in this current draft. Got a second round pick as well in this draft. That'll be a late second. They got a 2024 first, a 2025 second, and also got former Carolina Panthers receiver DJ Moore as well. And just for comparison, because I think, this is probably the parameters of what they started off with. The San Francisco 49ers gave up 3 first-round picks and a third to move up to number 3 for Trey Lance. And it looks like, if you count DJ, if DJ Moore would have been traded straight up, it probably would have been second-round pick for him, just with the value of receivers nowadays. Maybe a late first. So it feels like they got equivalent value with, again, this year's first. They swap with Carolina, 1 and 9. They get a second. Next year's first, DJ Moore, in a 2025 second. From the Panthers side, let's start with the Panthers, who get the first pick and presumably will take their quarterback. Well, they'll have their pick of the litter of which quarterback they want. CJ Stroud's currently the betting favorite, minus 225. That's a pretty heavy favorite. Bryce Young, plus 175. Anthony Richardson, plus 400. And then the other ones they're too high of odds. Will Levis and, Will Anderson and all those people. It's just too high. And it feels like quarterback is definitely the route that they're going to go. I don't know if it's going to be CJ Stroud, though, especially looking at those odds. If I were to have hypothetical dollars and I were to hypothetically choose one of those guys, it feels like Anthony Richardson is the best bet with how the Panthers are currently set up. I don't think that they're going to try and win next year. In my opinion, I would rather swing on a guy who could potentially have that, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes tier. And I'm not saying Anthony Richardson is more likely to get there than anybody else. I just think I am saying that, actually. I am saying, if things go well, I think he is the one who has the potential to reach that level. But also you have the complete inverse of, if things don't go well, he's the most raw prospect. He could be the worst of all of them. And so that's how I would take the risk. Especially considering, again, I don't expect Carolina to be good next year. They just traded their number 1 receiver. Don't really have many weapons outside of that. Obviously, trading Christian McCaffrey last season. If I were the Carolina Panthers, I'm taking the guy who, you already don't have to explain if he's going to sit next year because of how raw he is. If you take CJ Stroud or Bryce Young, I just think the expectation is a little bit higher to start those guys right away. I think CJ Stroud is definitely the best option in terms of, if you just want to take a guy and then not really worry about, is this guy going to be a complete and utter bust? I think CJ Stroud is probably the highest floor. But I don't know. It's just, I think there's just different ways of thinking about how to approach the draft. Carolina's looking for their first. Carolina's been in a quarterback carousel since they've been trying to replace Cam Newton. They had Kyle Allen, they had Teddy Bridgewater, they had Sam Darnold and Cam Newton. If you remember, they brought back Cam Newton. And then last year, they were the Baker Mayfield team until they weren't. I don't know. I feel like Anthony Richardson is probably the riskiest. But again, I think it's just kind of your mentality of how you approach the draft. And again, I love what Chicago did. They now have DJ Moore, Chase Claypool, Darnell Mooney, Cole Kmet. That's a legitimate receiving core. And it's pretty much exactly the same approach that the Dolphins took last year with their big trade for Tyreek Hill. The team that was in the Super Bowl, Philadelphia Eagles, did the same thing on draft night, acquiring A.J. Brown. You have to see what your young quarterback has. You have to give them a legitimate chance. You have to give them actual weapons to see what they can be. And I don't think DJ Moore, Claypool, Mooney, and Kmet is, a top 5 receiving core, but that's legit. That is a legitimate receiving core. You can do things with that. And if Justin Fields struggles again next season as a passer, I think that tells the Bears a little bit more information than what they had before. I think, again, you just have to eventually put your guy in a good situation and see what he does. Fields was great as a rusher last year. But, to his defense, he had no receiving help at all. And that Bears team needs a lot of help, which is it's not just the receiving core why I like this trade. Just getting more picks in general is great for the Bears. They need as much talent as they can get. They have a lot of holes that they need to fill. And if things don't go well, they can always, move on next year. They have 2 first-round picks next year. They can easily pivot. They can trade Justin Fields. They can trade those 2 picks and trade up to get one of the top quarterbacks next year. Caleb Williams, I don't expect the Bears to, if things go poorly next year, I don't expect the Bears to, still be hovering around 500. They're going to be bad again if things don't go well. And so they'll be right there. Very easy transition pivot point. So I like it. I honestly like it for both teams, but obviously I just think Carolina, now the ball is in their court and they have to make the right decision with that number 1 pick. With great power comes great responsibility. And the ball is now in the Panthers' court. We'll see how that goes. The Nuggets, the Denver Nuggets just keep on sliding, and the Memphis Grizzlies will not go away. We take our eye to the West to see how the other teams in the Western Conference are faring. We talk about that more next right here on Chris and Company on Sactown Sports 1140 and SactownSports.com.
The only place you'll find Harrison Barnes is Sactown Sports.
He's got the bucket at the buzzer. Harrison Barnes.
Hey, Sacramento, it's Harrison Barnes, and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
For your everyday vehicle. Right now, you can get 5 quarts with an STP oil filter for only $26.99. Do the complete job for the right price. Get the parts you need when you need them at AutoZone or AutoZone.com.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
With Progressive's Home Quote Explorer, you can check if you're paying too much for home insurance, because giving you options is the right thing to do.
Oh, you mean like when I let someone with less groceries go ahead in line? Sure, there's a part of me that thinks, if you only need 3 things, maybe go to a convenience store next time. And now they're sifting through coupons and my frozen foods are about to be not frozen.
But still, it's the right thing to do. So compare rates with Progressive's Home Quote Explorer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
What do you mean he went searching for pressure powder? We have full classes today.
Instructor down at Vesper Ski School.
Toward each other to snowplow, honey, not away.
She needs more ski instructors to slalom through the day-to-day.
Pizza, fries. Whoa, Braley, no, pizza.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
If you are like the thousands of people that take advantage of March for replacing your heating and cooling system, then this message is for you. Hi, I'm Mario, owner of Attic Man Heating and Air, and March is the most popular month for replacing old, inefficient heating and cooling systems because of milder temperatures and end-of-winter rebates. If you've even contemplating replacing your old AC system, act now. Take advantage of up to 5 years of interest-free financing and 10-year warranties. I know, it sounds way too good to be true, but it is true. 10 years of worry-free operation, but you have to book online today at atticmanhvac.com. Attic Man Heating and Air.
At Ashton & Price, we get injury victims to yes. Experience, yes. Ashton & Price has been around for over 25 years. No more insurance companies? Yes. Our clients focus on getting better, and we handle all the rest. Results? Yes. We've collected over $100 million for injury victims. No fee until we win? Yes. Our clients pay nothing until we win. Ashton & Price, the best at getting to yes. Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
How did your roof fare in the recent storms? If there's signs of wear and tear, address it before the problem becomes bigger. Kobex Construction Group understands the importance of a strong protective roof. The smallest leak can be the biggest problem. We provide homeowners with reliable roof repairs and replacements. Quality work and customer satisfaction are paramount to us. Get a new roof for zero down and low monthly payments. Call 1-800-NEW-ROOF for a no-obligation quote or visit trustcobex.com. Kobex Construction in Roseville. Do it once. Do it right.
The folks at M&S Auto know that inflation is tough on everybody. If you need an excellent, gently used car or truck, M&S has hundreds of vehicles on the lot on El Camino just off the Cap City Freeway. M&S customers get great deals and they save thousands. Get a great deal now on super clean 4x4s, including Tacomas, Silverados, and Jeeps, and muscle cars, Challengers, Teslas, Mustangs, and even the occasional McLaren. M&S Auto, msautogroup.com.
Bartley Kavanaugh Golf Course is Sacramento's #1 course for fun. Players love Bartley Kavanaugh's fun design and great mixture of holes. Near the banks of the Sacramento River, Bartley Kavanaugh's moderately sized greens and generous fairway landing areas make for an affordable and fun round of golf. Bartley Kavanaugh offers a great pro shop, help planning your tournament or wedding, and a relaxing outdoor veranda for a cold beverage or a tasty meal. For tee times, visit BartleyKavanaugh.com. It's Sacramento's #1 course for fun.
Thanks to the Xfinity 10G network, my little brother's friends won't leave our house. When I was their age, internet with basically no interruptions was a pipe dream.
You sound like my grandpa.
Now through March 21st, new customers can get 1 gig internet on the Xfinity 10G network. It's just $30 a month for 2 years when you add mobile with unlimited data. Go to Xfinity.com/10G, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Taxes and fees extra. Xfinity Mobile requires Xfinity Internet. After promo, regular rates apply to internet service and devices. Actual speeds vary.
You want it. Keeping you company with the company. It's Chris and Company with Chris Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Final segment here on Chris and Company, leading you up till to Deuce and Mo at 11. Kings Bucks tonight. Also should mention that. Can't wait. Should be a good one. Kings play another incredibly tough opponent. Checking in on our roll call earlier. Hey, B-Ball Jones, Carson City, Nevada, watching on his iMac and Bluetooth headphones. Huge shout out, Steven Torres. This is me to a T. Steven Torres in Yuba City said he took the day off. He's watching on his tablet on YouTube, but he's using his phone for chat, which is just love that. Love the multiple devices, but also playing 2K at the same time. Love that. That is the definition of multitasking. Watching, participating in the chat, and still getting your own time in. Love that, Steven. Love that. Absolutely. We got a lot of distant viewers. Who knew? Got someone from Texas, Brett in the Vegas office watching on TV. Love that. San Diego, Jackie on his iPhone. Love that. Love that. Going to take a look at the Western Conference as we do on every show to see how the West is shaking up down the stretch.
Where are the Kings in the standings?
Sometimes a team which no one expects to finish near the top of the standings does finish that way. And fans are not only surprised, they want to know why.
Who's moving up? Who's falling down? And who should embrace the tank? It's Eye on the West with Chris and Company.
Very, very eventful weekend in terms of the Western Conference standings. Memphis, man. Memphis Grizzlies, they got some dogs over there. I'll tell you that right now. They just keep on fighting. They will not go down despite everybody counting them out with all the off the court stuff, with the Brandon Clark missing the season with an Achilles injury, the Dylan Brooks just media circus that's going on with him now taking that alpha spot on the Grizzlies, apparently trying to size everybody up. They're just casually still winning games, still game for game with the Kings. The Kings are killing it. 8-1 since the break And Memphis has been there stride for stride with them every single step of the way. They've won 2 straight against the Warriors and Dallas. They play Dallas again tonight at 4:30. That'll be on ESPN. Definitely be tuning into that. That'll have a lot of implications for the Kings. But man, Memphis not going away. Golden State, they stop a 3-game skid over the weekend. They beat the Bucks in overtime. Steph Curry, incredible performance. No Giannis for the 3rd straight game. He's still questionable on whether or not he'll go tonight, but Chris mentioned in his update that he has said that he is targeting today as his return date. So we'll see how that goes. Kings have struggled against Giannis to say the least in their past. They're on a 13-game losing streak to the Milwaukee Bucks right now. So the Kings can take all the help that they can get. But it would be very disappointing to not be able to watch Giannis go tonight. I mean, Giannis is a once in a generational talent, and we should definitely appreciate all the games that we can get with him, even though it would definitely help the Kings in the standings for him not to play. On Sunday, I mentioned that the Denver Nuggets are making this thing a race. They're still 5 games up on the Grizzlies and the Kings, clear in that number 1 spot right now. Wow, hold on. Breaking news. Adam Schefter just hits my phone. Jimmy Garoppolo has signed with the Las Vegas Raiders. That's interesting. That is interesting. It's not awesome for the Raiders. Definitely you would have hoped that they move on from Derek Carr and kind of get a clear and obvious upgrade at that position. And it feels like Jimmy is lateral move at best, but that is interesting. So breaking news here. Again, Jimmy Garoppolo planning to sign with the Las Vegas Raiders. Very interesting. But back to the Nuggets, who again are sliding. 5 games back, or 5 games up right now on Memphis and Sacramento. And Memphis Denver has been up in that number 1 spot for a while now, since December. And there's a thing that is definitely real, where if you're in first place and by as wide of a margin as Denver is, what has been, you kind of get complacent, You're in first, games kind of don't matter as much on a night-to-night basis, and these slides are going to happen, especially towards the end of the year. Your mind has been on playoffs for so long, now it's just in reach. But Denver's legitimately sliding, and they need to watch out, because as I was doing research for the last time the Kings were in second place, I found in that season that they ended up, or the last time they were in second place, the 2003-2004 season, the 03-04 Kings were in first place from January all the way through March into like early April, and fell from the 1 seed where they had been all season long, eventually to the 4 seed. And the situation's a little bit different. The Kings had the Timberwolves on their heels. The Lakers were also coming on a late stretch as well. But it just shows that you really can never get too complacent. You have to stay focused all the way through. You have to run through the tape, run through the finish line. And the Nuggets are kind of struggling with that right now. And let's remind everybody, the Kings play the Nuggets in the final game of the season. So don't let that game matter, Denver. Do not let that game matter. Do not allow me to convince myself that there is even a remote chance that this team finishes as the 1 seed. Boy, oh boy. Should also mention here before we head out that the Los Angeles Lakers had an opportunity last night to move into a tie for that 7 and 8 spot if they would have beaten the Knicks last night. Almost came back. Almost had a late comeback to beat the Knicks. They're 8-4 since the trade deadline. Since they completely rehauled their team. LeBron hasn't played in a while. And they're still only 1 game back of that 7-8 spot. They scare me, man. I can't lie. I know we want to act like big and tough. We're feeling good. We're playing well. But I do not want to play the Los Angeles Lakers in a playoff series. I don't. I feel very comfortable saying that. I would rather not play Anthony Davis and LeBron James, a combination that is proven to win a championship. I know that they haven't been that this season, but I would just rather play a team that doesn't have that kind of experience. The Lakers have been trash all season. They have, but they have figured it out. And, I don't love D'Angelo Russell defensively, especially, but they've really built their offense pretty perfectly around Anthony Davis and LeBron. And the Kings have a great offense. They have the best offense. But again, like I as great as it would be to beat the Lakers in a playoff series, it would also be pretty terrible if all of those emotions come back up and they somehow pull it out. And again, I don't think that'll happen. I do think the Kings will take care of business. Can Anthony Davis stay healthy is a real legitimate question, but I think the Kings got it. That's all that we got on today's show. Thank you so much, everybody, for keeping me company. We got Deuce and Mo coming up next right here on Sactown Sports 1140.
You wanted more Niners? Sactown Sports delivered in the biggest way.